Good evening, welcome. Actually, am I actually audible? I don't know if I am. Now I might be. Hello. So we're actually back for gasting. Look at that. Power Rangers versus Insane Gaming. Well, I would say Insane Gaming, but their sponsor has dropped their sponsorship, so it's back to OsG Gaming. And it is the excellent Moscow Cup. So that's one game that we're watching tonight. Is one game in total that is here. And luckily, I'm not by myself. My tiredness will be masked by my co-caster, G Advance. Welcome back.
So, yeah, I'm not tired at all.
Yes.
Unlike you, I've not been traveling. But when did you actually, exactly get back, right?
Okay, so...
Because I want to hear this.
So I got back in the Netherlands yesterday. And I went to my parents straight away because my cat was there. And then I went back this afternoon. But traveling, just all in all, is just so tiresome. So basically, I've been traveling in traveling mode from yesterday morning till just an hour ago, 2 hours ago, 1.5 hours ago.
Alright, that's fine. Everything's fine.
And just straight back
You're
to
totally
casting.
fine. You had more than enough time to relax, have a chocolate biscuit, everything's good.
Oh, no relaxing. No relaxing. So, Power Rangers versus OsG Gaming, though. These teams are both known for enjoyable games, so I'm hoping that they can, create some adrenaline in me so that I can wake up.
They have to, right?
Yeah.
Well, Lycan's already banned.
Yes.
So far, so good, because that hero, if in doubt, ban it. A few teams have discovered that some people, sometimes when you pick it recently, doesn't always work out. Because that was the thing that DK had been doing. They let everybody take it when the enemy team were on the Radiant side.
Yeah.
That
Power
was really
Rangers wants to
smart.
still ban it on the Radiant side, though. I mean, they have first pick, so it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one to get. The big thing is that just most teams just simply can't deal with a Lycan right now. I think really that's more of anything just to do with DK than Lycan not being OP. He's definitely still incredibly hard to deal with, still something like a 65% win rate in games. And OsG Gaming, apparently they hate you, Shiva, because they pick up Naga Siren and Dazzle here.
That could
Naga
be an
Siren-
aggressive Naga Siren.
It could be an aggressive Naga Siren. I hope it is, because it works so well with the Dazzle. You can bump that heal off the illusions, hits a lot harder, but so far it doesn't look like it, just because it's always Naga Siren. And pretty much, most of the time people would say there are better heroes to get up early if you want to go early aggression. The only other reason maybe you'd want to pick the Naga is just because that ulti.
True, I'm still drinking my coffee, by the way. I mean, some caffeine wouldn't be bad. So that would be the sounds that you might hear. But yeah, I to be honest, I mean, Naga Siren, the thing is that she has a potential to be very late game boring hero, but we haven't really seen her as such that often lately. So I'm kind of curious to see what OsG Game is going to do with it. Mostly, of course, the reason for her not being as late game-ish anymore is that she's been run mid, which has been very effective. I don't know if OsG Gaming has taken that over of other teams, mostly EG, of course. But they could have done that. We have an Ancient Apparition picked up straight away by Power Rangers. I like that. It's countering the heals from the Dazzle. So that's already something nice there. Power Rangers, though, favoring first pick Centaur. I'm curious to see if it's going to work out for them because, I mean, it's a nice hero, don't get me wrong, but he does need that startup time. So far, there's nothing really yet to punish Power Rangers to go for that Blink Dagger early on. Nothing really yet that can stop the Centaur to get that. However, Dazzle Vengeful Spirit could be the game breakers here for Power Rangers.
Yeah, and so far, maybe you're right in, talking about this Naga Siren being used more aggressively early on, because Dazzle Vengeful Spirit is not generally a defensive dual support combo. Vengeful Spirit in particular pretty much has to go and get kills early. There's no other real point to her. She's not a great jungle farmer or anything like that. This is no Sand King. So this hero pretty much just has to go off and gank and go and get kills. This could even be a full aggressive tri-lane for these two. They could even split them up. The Naga Siren, like you said, she can go into the middle lane. There's a lot of options for OsG Gaming so far. That said, I don't know, I feel a little bit more confident in Power Rangers draft. They actually pick up the Wisp now, so I guess they're going to run a combo hero with this. But I was going to say the big thing right now is that they have this Naga Siren, and the Ancient Apparition means that Dazzle can't do anything for Naga, and Centaur's a very strong initiator that can do a lot of burst damage. It's very possible that if they try to go too greedy with this Naga, she could get bursted down exceedingly quick and basically just not have a chance to pop off her ulti and try and get out of there.
True. I have to say I'm not too sold on the Timbersaw pick for most like gaming. I know he's nice against IO combinations and against strength heroes overall, so, which are normally strength heroes. So IO combinations are a bit extra squishy for the Timbersaw, but we have not seen Timbersaw do all too well purely because he needs such a long time to get up to speed. And by the time that he is already like by the time that he's farmed up, Power Rangers will have a farmed up Tiny in this case as well, and I'm not sure how much Timbersaw can do then. So this will be interesting to see how this Timbersaw is going to do, how well he can actually get control over the Iowa and the Tiny, which for now we're going to assume is going to be on the safe lane. Power Rangers, though, they could switch up their laning completely. They can go for a Centaur on the safe lane, go for an aggressive tri-lane. They could go for a dual lane with Tiny IO as well if they really want to, depending on what they are expecting in the mid lane. So far, neither team has got a very specified mid-hero.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Nobody right now has a hero that guaranteed 100% of the time goes to mid every single time. There's a lot of different things they can do. I think, the Wisp Tiny could go in there. I personally wouldn't want to run the aggressive tri-lane versus OsG Gaming right now, just because Vengeful Spirit is such a good try-on-try hero, just at level 1 even, and can do a lot of damage. I think, to be honest, if I was OsG Gaming, I'd be thinking personally more about going in for the aggressive tri-lane, because I think more recently we've seen teams learn to deal with the very farmed late-game Naga Siren.
Look at that!
This is a solo Naga then, and an aggressive tri-lane.
This is a Dazzle farming, maybe.
It could be. I think it's a Naga,
Spirit.
though, and then...
Well,
yeah, I think
either
it's going to be
Venge
the
or
Vengeful
Dazzle
Spirit.
is going to be a core as well, so Venge.
This is interesting for them, but they have a ton of damage in their tri-lane now.
This is true. We're back to CAS Dota. I like it. It's a good
welcome to Russian Dota.
This is a good welcome home.
Where everyone just kills each other.
Well, if that is going to be the case, if this is going to be a very fighting heavy game, I love the supporty heroes on the side of OsG Gaming. The thing is, for supports, the reason why supports are because they are able to carry their carries early on in the game when they cannot take care of themselves yet, so hence the babysitter title. And they have got a lot of those. Even Naga Siren has been run as a support, so only the Timbersaw I would be a bit worried about. On the other side, Power Rangers, Tiny and IO do need some time to get level 6, and OsG Gaming might not give them that chance. Same thing goes for Ancient Apparition. He's a nice support, but overall he's picked up not because he is such a dominant hero early game. Granted, his chilling touch is pretty nice, but he also is one of those supports that can do really well late game. And if you look at OsG Gaming's lineup, they might not want to make it late game at all.
Yeah, I've definitely got to agree with that. I mean, overall, if you look at Power Rangers' lineup, it's incredibly powerful, even before that late game situation, just because Tiny Wisp combos are so good. They can initiate with the Centaur, they can then, do the relocate on top of them with the Wisp Tiny, jump on top and do a lot of damage. Their AoE and control and damage that they're able to do, if OsG Gaming get caught out, they'll just get instantly team wiped. But the thing is that they require level 6 to do that. They have to wait for fairly long cooldown ultis. I mean, relocate isn't a hugely long cooldown, neither's the AA ulti, but the big thing is they need the Dream Coil. They need the Dream Coil to control people there, give the Tiny the chance to actually get some of his damage out. And right now, OsG Gaming, everybody but the Timbersaw can fight pretty much level 1. I mean, the only one who's not great for it is the Naga Siren, and I mean, if her supports are making enough space on her on the map, then I don't think they'll be too worried. So I think this is smart by OsG Gaming here. It is dangerous though going into the mid game, but at the very least they have this solo mid Naga Siren who'll be a sort of late game backup for them.
Yeah, and talking about solo mid, we also have a solo mid dual, or not a solo. We have a dual lane coming up for Power Rangers. Looks like the lanes have already taken shape, so we can actually go through who's playing what. Power Rangers on the dire side. It's by the way, it's only one game that we're gonna see of the excellent Moscow Cup today. More games tomorrow and the days after, but for now it's only one game, which is probably also pretty good to just get back into the groove of casting. But FNG will be playing the IO. He is gonna support in the mid lane the Tiny, who is here. And he's played by Moon. We have got supporting, probably roaming slightly, but we'll see where he goes to. Probably top once he's seen the lanes. It's J4 playing the Ancient Apparition. We've got Scandal on the puck. going towards the safe lane. Not a solo lane for him, or at least not against the solo lane, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And Cheshire Cat, of course, on the off lane. Centaur Warrunner for him. He should be doing okay against the Timber, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Timber generally does pretty well versus Strength Heroes, but Centaur's also one of those who doesn't really care. On the side of OsG Gaming, it is going to be the safe lane here. It's going to be Judo. In the middle lane, it's going to be Chomi. He's up on the Naga Siren, supported at the moment by Obi-Wan Banan, who is on this Dazzle here. I think he's just trying to keep him safe, because this dual lane is very dangerous. Up on the top lane, it of course is going to be Bignum. He's going to be on the Disruptor, and Ink Visitor, normally the off-lane player for the team, but he's playing what appears to be a carry Vengeful Spirit. He's, this is going to be interesting lanes for them, for both teams here. I think this Dazzle's basically been forced to come and help mid here.
Yeah, but to be honest, if OsG Gaming is winning this mid lane, they're doing okay already. If that Chomi can actually farm, that's going to be their main priority. I mean, it's still a Naga Siren, it's still a hero that will win the game for you if you take the game long enough. So as long as she's doing okay, then things will be okay for OsG Gaming as a whole. In the meantime, on the bottom lane, it should be a fairly even lane, and because it is a fairly even lane, it might be the lane where someone is likely to overextend first, so it's one to keep an eye on. I'm a bit sad that OsG Gaming is not running the full aggressive tri lane, though. I mean, I understand that the Dazzle is needed middle, but of course they can't really go aggressive on a puck at all. And Ancient Desperation is also left alone to just be stacking and farming in the jungle, so in theory, Power Rangers is getting more golden experience across the map than OsG Gaming is.
Yeah, and I feel if kills aren't happening, these three supports on the side of OsG Gaming, who are very early game focused, who are very disable focused, are kind of wasting their time a little bit, because whilst Naga Siren is one of the best, late game heroes that you're going to get, she farms incredibly fast. Tiny is also one of those who will just be like, oh, you're split pushing us, Loss, I'm just going to attack your base. And if they do get to that point where Tiny's pretty strong in the mid game, he can base race a Naga Siren very easily and will pretty much win that pretty much every time. So I think, yeah, things are on OsG Gaming to actually get something done during the early to mid game, but maybe they're just waiting for the moment, making sure that Chomi's safe, because pretty much any time he's on his own here, Moon and FNG can probably kill him with this combo here. I mean, Tiny Wisp it's a classic combo, pretty much. So there's not much you can do about it if you don't have somebody like a Dazzle behind you.
Yeah, so far though, I mean, Chomi is doing really well last hits. He's actually highest on the list. It is Moon who is sitting only 4 last hits behind, but it's still something to take into account, especially because the other lanes, and mostly the top lane, Inquisitor is sitting on 7 to 5 last hits, and you'd think, you know what, he's kind of shut down, but then you look at Scandal, and he's only got 4 last hits, 6 denies, yay, but he's not really doing very well here on this top lane, while Puck is one of those heroes that does need those last hits, and he's not getting as much as I thought he would get. Means him in the bottom lane while we're at it anyway. Cheshire Cat sitting on 16 to 1, Judo on 15 to 1, so as said, this is a very even lane.
Yeah, I mean, 2 melee strength heroes going at each other, neither of which really want to get into a man fight too much. Perhaps Judo will have an opportunity at some point to try and kill Cheshire Cat, but it's pretty unlikely overall that anything's going to happen in this lane. I think the reason Chomi seems to be out-farming the Tiny just a little bit in the middle lane here is because Naga Siren's actually a very strong hero versus this combo.
Top lane, looks like the first blood's on the board. There we go, Bignum takes it, but he will also fall himself to Scandal's Puck, who was looking for Inquisitor, although actually Inquisitor has got another stun. There is a phase shift, of course, on Scandal. He pops himself, was a bit of a wasted self, though. Inquisitor still chasing, gives some vision, and baits out the phase shift, but is not able to get in range anymore for the Magic Missile. Still, though, 1 for 1, with the first blood going away of OsG Gaming.
Yeah, nicely done by OsG Gaming. Scandal did a good job to get out of there, but overall, it doesn't really matter because, like you said, Scandal's being shut down fairly hard. He's completely out of regen, and Inquisitor is pretty much dominating this lane here. And with them winning the safe lane as well, it's even slightly winning the bottom lane, I think this is going pretty well for them overall. They're not getting a huge amount of kills, which maybe you'd expect from their lineup, but it seems to be okay for them. Looks like Moon's actually trying to go on Chomi in the middle lane, but it looks like more than anything, he's just trying to harass him as they, well, I'm not sure what that's for. The FNG has the bottle and is, maybe he's stacking? Is he going top or is he stacking?
I think he's gonna stack, most likely.
Well, he's missed it now.
Well, then I don't know what
I think he was a bit indecisive then. I think he went to maybe go for a double stack or something, but yeah, they're just trying to do as much pressure they can to Chomi here, but as I was saying before, the minus armor from this Naga Siren is very useful versus this dual lane here. This dual lane, it's very dangerous, but the real issue with running it is that both these heroes have 0 armor level 1. Tiny's got 1 armor now, but Wisp is still a 0, and he's only got a bottle as well. He has no items.
Yeah, for now, right now, Power Rangers, they really have to have a lot of pressure on getting that Centaur or Blink Dagger, because, yeah, as we already mentioned, he's doing okay. And then the rotations have to be basically flawless, because OsG Gaming is getting ahead on a lot of different fronts. I mean, they might not be really getting ahead in the top lane, but as long as they slow down the puck, which is what they are doing, then they're doing their job pretty well. Scandal is sitting on 15 last hits with Inquisitor on 18. The difference is not that big, but then again, it's a lot less than what Puck should have right now, as we actually do have Obi-Wan Banan in a little bit of trouble. He heals himself. The haste rune of FNG should keep him safe, and actually Moon coming back in as well. Avalanche, no toss, no mana for a toss, but the Grave is there, and that is gonna be a kill right there. FNG will take it and should turn on his overcharge because he is taking a lot of damage from it.
Yeah, I mean, a nice little kill from there. Great body blocks from FNG.
There's a lot of hatred people rotating in. We've got ourselves Chomi coming in first. Goes for the ensnare up on J4. Riptide as well. Cold Feet come out. J4 will fall, and that's a glimpse back. Moon in some trouble as well. Stunned up. In comes the Stampede, though. He's running for his life, and it might be enough. That one Thunder Charge. Oh, he doesn't have any regen. No
He's gonna get
regen.
netted here.
Yep, and that's gonna be him dead as well. That's gonna be 2 in the end. 2 for 1 because FNG was able to get out.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to go for those kills, but if you haven't got an escape route planned afterwards, you end up going to die there, and that is one of those problems with running these 3 heroes on the side of PR. All these heroes right now that they have that can actually do something without a Blink Dagger, all of them have 0 armor practically. I mean, Ancient Apparition has a little bit more, but he's also very squishy, not particularly fast either, and they're very reliant on somebody else initiating for the team, and then allowing the Tiny to come in and do the damage, allowing the Ancient Apparition to get his ult off. He's not going to have the levels for that right now. Like you said, they need Cheshire Cat to get a fast Blink Dagger
Inquisitor
for
is
them.
going to get picked off on top lane. This is going to be first rotation of Io without the relocate, but still showing himself there. The Chilling Touch worked out great as well. But they get the Venge. I think that's good for Power Rangers. They just need to buy time for the moment. It sounds stupid, the need to buy time against the Naga Siren, but at the moment that's all they can do to get their levels up before they can start actually throwing out the main punches that they want to do, while Cheshire Cat is still fighting for his Blink Dagger here on this bottom lane. He's actually only like about less than 1k away from it.
Yeah, he won't have this as a super early Blink Dagger just because he's going up versus a Timbersaw, and Timbersaw pretty much beats every strength hero in a 1v1 situation. Maybe Clockwork can be an exception, but otherwise, yeah, he's always going to struggle in these matchups. Looks like they might go up top here. Actually, no, nothing going on for the moment. But yeah, I think it is just about buying time for PR right now, and like you said, whilst that seems pretty unusual because you've got a Naga Siren, actually, what's that ulti for?
I don't know, it's not on bottom lane, it's not on middle lane. So I'm a bit surprised. Wasn't top either, so random. Pretty random.
I mean,
Misclick
maybe
R.
he just misclicked.
It happens to the best of us. We do have an IO rotation coming in for Judo, by the way. Pops a salve, however. Cheshire Cat wanting to go in, but they can't. I mean, it's 2 strength heroes. You can't risk just getting blown up, and that is definitely, if you come too close, you will get blown up.
Yeah, even if they get right on top of him, then Wisp at this point has 600 HP, 0 armor, and takes extra damage from a Timbersaw. So, yeah, he's going to get instantly blown up. So even if they do get hold of him, then maybe they have the opportunity to kill him. They do have level 3 spirits, so they do a ton of damage, but it's just so difficult.
Oh, Inquisitor just swapped himself into a ton of trouble. Perhaps they're going to get Scandal and return Scandal in some trouble. Goes for the silence, still has a Thunder Strike on him. Dodges 1 hit and will go down to the creeps afterwards. J4 will get away. And it's Bignum that lives. Inquisitor still giving his life for that though, but in the end, it's a trade 1-for-1. A fairly even trade, I'd say, actually.
It's an even trade, but the Vengeful Spirit doesn't really need any big items. The Puck has to rush a Blink Dagger at this point. It's not like you can, Vengeful Spirit right now, she's buying up bits to drums or bits to Aquila. Those items cost 185 gold apiece. A Blink Dagger is 2,000 gold that you need there and then as a full amount. So dying for that kill is pretty worth it in my opinion. I would throw away my life all day to annoy a puck.
Oh, Judo in some trouble, silenced up and killed off Scandal, rotating in to help Cheshire Cat. And this time the Stampede was not for naught, as Cheshire Cat actually gets his Blink Dagger with that kill as well, so that's a big deal. Scandal is still far away from his Blink, but he went for Treads first, so that's understandable.
Yeah, it's understandable, and it's understandable from the lane he was in as well. He's in a very difficult lane to deal with. Cheshire Cat looks like he's going to hide in the trees here. They're actually baiting. They're actually baiting with Scandal right now because they know that Scandal needs the farm. So somebody has to come here, and Ink Visitor, he's going to be the one to fall into this trap.
Yeah, and that's going to be one dead Vengeful Spirit. There is a Disruptor coming in as well, but yeah, he did the right thing. Decided to run. Teleport now incoming from the Timber, though. Not sure if he can actually make something happen, but it will at least force them away. Scandal actually takes quite a bit of damage from it. With no bottle, so he has to be careful, but it looks like he might just go back to base.
Yeah, I think both of these two will just go back to base right now and then come out and try to get some more kills. They have the Dream Coil up online, and she's actually getting pretty close to that Blink Dagger on the puck, which is an essential item for them, because otherwise Moon has very little chance of actually getting hold of anyone and getting a kill on them, because they still don't have level 6 on this Wisp. It's 12 minutes into the game almost, and yeah, it looks like they're just going to go jungle together because they don't know where the side of Oslet Gaming is right now. So PR are playing this a little bit defensive. They just need the levels right now. PR are struggling a bit, but it seems like they're coming back into their own now. This Cheshire Cat, though, he has to get a ton of kills with this Blink Dagger because right now nobody else can actually fully initiate for the team.
Well, there's a ping going out. They know, like, this is the time we're ganking. IO does not want to show yet that he's level 6, but this is the time for ganks from that IO and Tiny combination. However, I guess he already showed himself right now, so that's gonna be that.
I think he's... yeah, he did get seen by that ward, sorry, on the high ground. I didn't see you highlighted that until then, but... yeah, so he has been spotted off here. Chomi has his level 6 as well, so he's a very difficult gank to get. They pretty much need the Centaur to actually get a stomp off first on somebody. Otherwise, they have things like the swap, they have the kinetic field that could mean it's very difficult to actually get a kill. Yeah, and Song, of course, is the most important one.
Yeah, a lot of disengage spells coming out from Oslet Gaming if they would need it. While Timbersaw is playing very careful as well. He is actually rushing a Bloodstone. No surprise, we see that a lot, but still... interesting to see that he is allowed to do so in this game for now, as Vengeful Spirit is actually the hero that they relocated up on the top lane. They also get the Dazzle there, still taking some harassment, but looks like I just missed 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty nice combo from them there. Scandal drops the Dream Coil, and they end up getting the kill there. He has his Blink Dagger as well, and now is when PR actually are fully online and are extremely difficult to deal with, because anybody can initiate and then be follow-up with a global ultimate. Either the Relocate or the Ancient Apparition. If somebody, if it's somebody that's a little bit squishier, say the Disruptor, then it just needs to be the Ancient Apparition ult plus either the Centaur or the Puck. But if they want to fully commit, they can jump, more people on. And yeah, they try for that kill up on the top lane, but Disruptor is apparently wise to it, or just backed at a lucky moment.
Yeah, talking about lucky moments, I think Timbersaw was happy for a second there, and then he started being sad again. He will get picked up there. A Song comes in, but it's too late to actually save the Timber. Let's see if they can take down Cheshire Cat. There is a stun. Cheshire Cat stunned up. In comes the IO trying to help out. He might be able to get something. Gets a stun up on 2 and runs for it. In comes Moon now, looking for an avalanche. A toss. Gets a toss. Get the Vengeful Spirit. IO still gets dropped there on the backside of things, as we see Moon just getting a double kill as well. It's 3 for 2 for the moment, and Moon, he just wants to make sure that he gets something else out of it. Chomi only level 1 in the snare, so couldn't hold Moon in place long enough, and Moon is actually going to get lucky with a regen rune. Not going to turn around and come back though. Turns in that it is a 2 for 3 in the end. It's okay-ish trade for Power Rangers. Still losing the Centaur is not that fun for them, especially not that since they lost it to a Naga Siren.
Yeah, it's difficult for him, but the thing is, Centaur's already pretty much online. He's actually going for a mech next as a second item, which is pretty intelligent, I feel, but already the relocates again.
Yep. Down goes Venge, and this is maybe a little bit too late. I mean, it's nice that they get these kills, but at the same time, Chomi has got his relic ready, and it is going to be sitting on a Radiance. Yeah, they need to get him before he has that Radiance ready, because things are going to start to get ugly.
This is the opportunity. They managed to force out the Song of the Siren once already, Moon is he's coming online at this point. They need to use a relocate gank though. There's about a 40-second window once relocate is going to be up again, where they can get this Naga Siren, where she still won't have Song of the Siren, and basically Bignum just has to sit behind her this time because he's the best way of dealing with this. He can just instantly send back the Tiny. At that point, the Dazzle is a nice, or not the Dazzle, sorry, the Wisp is a nice easy kill. And yeah, I mean, the Dazzle could also sit behind, but it looks like he wants a little bit more farm, but yeah, nobody's actually sitting behind this Naga Siren. I really feel like if I was one of these supports, I would just be camping the Naga Siren right now, because if she gets relocated on, if she gets initiated on, she's going to have her relic, or she's going to have her radiant, sorry, in, a minute and a half less, and that's just more opportunity in which you can still gank her, in which she's still not farming to her full potential.
Yeah, look at the positioning of Cheshire Cat. He actually is leaving the safety of his pretty niche there that he had, but looks like Timbersaw was already aware something was wrong. Some people were missing from the map that shouldn't be missing from the map, so he did not reveal himself. And talking about revealing themselves, I mean, in terms of wards, we've got both teams having actually nice wards up. Most notably, though, it is OsG Gaming who has defensive wards up, while the wards on the side of Power Rangers are slightly more aggressive. Not that much more aggressive, but it just shows the state of this game. Basically, OsG Gaming, all they want to do is defend, play it safe, get that Naga Siren all fat and tanky and just basically even fatter than fat. And Power Rangers wants to fight, wants to find pickups, wants to know where their enemies are so that they can actually pick someone off and hopefully for them also take a tower in return for it, because they need to start doing that some more. They only have that one tower that we just saw go down on the top lane.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice for OsG Gaming that they are being given this time because they do have the Naga Siren, but I feel like their supports, they have 3 heroes on their team who are pretty much entirely early game focused. The Timbersaw now, he's pretty much online as well with his Bloodstone. I feel like these guys either, just have one person camp behind the Naga Siren, or probably better than that is to go off and try and create space with these heroes, because these heroes are still all very powerful. The Disruptor, if he can catch somebody in that ulti, it's pretty much going to kill them every time, especially if he gets the Wisp in there as well, because then there won't be any relocate out. I just wouldn't want to put all my eggs in one basket right now with this Naga Siren, because the thing is we've seen it plenty of times, is that Tiny, when he gets to late game, he's also an exceedingly strong late game carry. He doesn't farm as fast though, so that's the real advantage for the side of OsG Gaming right now, and that Tiny is, almost 2k gold behind the Naga Siren as well, actually.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a bit sad about the Vengeful Spirit, how it panned out, because in terms of gold, he's only like 300 gold higher than his supports. It doesn't really look like a carry Vengeful Spirit at all at this point. And one of the results that you're going to have from that is that OsG Gaming, they do not have a natural mech carrier at this point. Well, you would say like might be Disruptor, but he's going for an Aghanims, understandable of course. It's not really the Dazzle because he is being like the number 5, he just does not get the gold for that. And Vengeful Spirit was the carry, so it's going to be interesting to see if they even are going to plan on building that. Of course, Power Rangers already has one in Cheshire Cat. That's because they want to fight. But it's surprising to see the support, the 3 support, I guess, not really working out as I was hoping it would be. It's still like there's nothing gone wrong for OsG Gaming just yet. I mean, they've got a Naga Siren with the Radiance. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, they lose that tower.
They lose the tower. Scandal. Still gonna be in some trouble. Maybe he's gonna get himself out in snare. It's gonna get dodged. Relocate coming in. Disruptor's already picked up. Chomi will fall as well. That's gonna be the Naga dead. And a Scandal not so dead, managing to get out alive. Very nicely done by Power Rangers, and they were baiting that out. That was kind of eminent of that one.
Yeah, and that seems to be their game plan, is every time that Tiny actually sent back, when he gets back to the middle lane, somebody went on him and he just beats them up.
And then instantly he's got a triple kill. That's very nice. That was another Dazzle gone. And that is all the gold that he needed for the Aghanims as well. So he has that one in his hand, smashing a tree about. And
a twee?
A twee. I don't know. I read a word.
That's like Bugs Bunny.
No, there's actually a word named twee because I read something today and they used the word twee and I didn't know what it was. But it was something Scottish. Twee.
Oh yeah, it's hard to like explain. It's like when people say quaint. Like, you can't exactly explain what quaint means, but you just kind of know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
they
it's a
used
dumb
the
word.
word
Nobody
twee.
uses it.
It was stuck in my mind for a while, thinking about what it could have been. But oh well. But I didn't even know what I was gonna say. A tree, yes, a tree. Thank you. Tree is what he's holding in his hand and smashing about right now, which is good because it will help them taking down some extra towers, which is what they would need to do. And I mean, I'm talking like they are losing and they have to move now, but they are actually still ahead, of course, and they are gonna find Judo as well, kill him off. They are ahead. It's just that they are the team that is on a time schedule because Naga Siren will win late game. So for Power Rangers, they have a lot of pressure on doing things now rather than getting baited out into moving about and not getting anything in return for their movements and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true to an extent. Like I said, I'd still... If I was PR, I would be very happy with the situation they're in right now because they're 16 to 6 ahead. They're taking down a lot more towers, and this Naga Siren, every time that she pops Song of the Siren at this point, PR just go on her. We saw that earlier on the bottom lane, is that as soon as the Song of the Siren was actually out, she pretty much committed to that fight. She can maybe TP out if she wants to, but they just immediately relocated on her, went for the kill on her, and the problem is that OsG Gaming right now, they have these kind of heroes who are kind of wasted. The Vengeful Spirit, like you said, he hasn't done much. He's farmed a bit. He's picked up an Ogre Club now, so I guess he's going for a BKB, but not exactly a huge item on him, considering he does no damage at this point. The Timbersaw as well, he rushed up a Bloodstone. He is actually going to be the one going for the mech next to them, which is definitely nice, but he might be in some danger here in the middle lane.
Yeah, it looks like he is. Relocate coming in, and he suicides. The song still comes out, though, so a bit miscommunication there, but Chomi's song on cooldown. It is level 2, so the cooldown is not as bad as it was at level 1, but it's still interesting to see that him use that, and perhaps Power Rangers is going to try to abuse him using that by, looking at that, taking Roshan or going for tower, but Roshan it is.
Yeah, I mean, they've already taken all the outer tier towers, and the others can try and make some space. Looks like Cheshire Cat almost caught out of position here, but he's gone the full maneuverability build. Blink Dagger as well as a Force Staff, so he wasn't gankable up on that top lane, and yeah, they'll pretty much get a free Roshan for that there. The Bloodstone is now down to just 3 charges as well. The Curse of the Bloodstone, every time you buy it, you're just bound to feed 3 times in a row. It happens to everybody, but it's a difficult situation because it's such a great snowball item, but by the time you get it, especially on heroes like Timbersaw, they start falling off. So difficult to get, and yeah, they're now relying pretty much completely on Chomi. I mean, it's only 23 minutes in, so he's pretty farmed at this point. He's got his BOTs up as well, but he's still struggling for mana at this point. He hasn't got a Manta style or anything like that, and certainly if he gets into a man fight with Moon at this point, he'll just die. Tiny is so much stronger at this stage of the game than Naga Siren is. She has to try and split push, and that's difficult to do versus Tiny Wisp combo, because relocate pretty much counts as split push.
Yeah, some creeps taking out a tier 1 on top lane. No deny coming in because Power Rangers was smoking up, looking for a bait on, or food rather, on top, but they couldn't find anything. Everybody backed off already, and yeah, we see just the state of OsG Gaming passive. Farm up Chomi is mostly farming up with his illusions, which is nice because you can still get a nice amount of gold. But at the same time, we see him falling behind on levels quite hard because of, well, you said it, you can't really split push all that much when there is a tiny IO combination on the map. It's just too scary. You have to be basically only split pushing and showing yourself in between relocates. And for now, there's a relocate up, and OsG Gaming is very much aware of that.
Yeah, and that levels thing that you point out is actually a very important point, because Naga Siren, she needs this level 3 ulti to really reliably split push and reliably be able to fight PR, because what that means is you can be like, oh, we lost one person in the fight, guys, maybe it's going slightly bad, I'm just going to press R and we can go do something else, and PR's time can be completely wasted. Yeah, maybe OsG Gaming still lose that one person, but she's not getting those levels, so she can't do that at this stage, and yeah, she's not going out and split pushing because it's too dangerous for her to do. At one point she was positioned all the way back in the base and just throwing out her illusions, and I mean, that's nice and all because you get a ton of farm from it, but if you don't get those levels, you're completely screwed, and it looks like PR, I mean, they're trying for this bait in the middle lane here, but OsG Gaming sniff it out. That was a pretty obvious one there.
Relocate on top lane though, but Moon and FNG stuck instantly. Couldn't do anything. Well, now it's 5 seconds before they're out again, but that was a bit painful there. Just standing still, not moving, and they relocate back. Well, they'll take the tower at least, but that was interesting. I guess they baited out a static storm. It's got a very short cooldown,
Yeah,
but it's still something big.
I think that was worth it. They baited out the static storm. The Naga Siren song was even used just to set that up. And in the meantime, OsG Gaming, nobody else on the team can really do anything because they've fallen off so hard. The Vengeful Spirit has no items. She's still trying to get a BKB, and she doesn't do any damage to them. She has a disable, and that's about it. So in the meantime, PR take 2 towers, and suddenly the situation that was, okay, we've still got our outer tier 2s, has now gone to our base is being sieged by a Tiny. And of all the heroes to have your base sieged by, Tiny is probably the worst, because he hits towers harder than anybody else in the game, practically.
Yeah, and we just saw the Reaver being picked up, blown up rather, as the courier died. Reaver is a pretty big item for Naga Siren to have. I mean, you want to get that hard up, sure, but if you have your Reaver, at least you'll be a little bit tankier. Most importantly, your illusions will be a little bit more tankier. And not having that can be the, well,
it means she doesn't have buyback as well.
Yeah, she doesn't have anything.
If PR break the base now, I think they might just win.
They
Also,
could,
Gaming have to play this incredibly safely. They might even have to just give up the racks if they have to, because Moon has got an Aegis, he's got a BKB as well. It's still on 10 seconds.
Sure Cat is jumping in comes an A ult into Dream Coil up on 3. Inquisitor already picked up, Big Nom dropping. Moon still taking a lot of damage, but as you said, Aegis is there, and it looks like Judo is going to be the one trying to get out of this as well, but in comes Moon. Toss, and that's all. Godlike, double kill for him. 2 heroes left alive, one of which is squishy, and actually Io still goes down. Well, that was interesting, but we still have the Naga and the Dazzle alive on the side of OsG Gaming. The only thing Obi-Wan Banan can do is perhaps throw out a couple of poisons and degrade himself, which is good too. But that's it. Look at Moon. The damage is just too much. There is a song up again on Show Me, but at this point it would just be a I'm not sure.
He's going to slow them down. They might get an opportunity for kill. Moon is low.
But
he has 10-second BKB.
No, they popped the BKBs. The toss is there. Avalanche as well. Inquisitor picked up, even though he only just got back there. Jomi, silenced up, stunned, double edge, dead. Io buys back, relocating back into this as well. Judo is in some trouble, perhaps. Mech up. But he's still able to throw out a little bit of a punch, perhaps. Nice kinetic field, actually. Locking in J4. Can they actually get him? No, they cannot. And actually, Shashirka jumps in, gets 2. Judo! Dead? No. Graved, and gets a kill with his Whirling Death. A lot of back and forth here. It's all in favor of OsG, though, because Power Rangers is not getting the racks, which is the most important thing. There's a lot of fighting, and actually Judo still getting the kill there on the Tiny. That's a godlike streak. That's 1,200 gold. And now Tiny jumping to the high ground, blinking and teleporting away. But all in all, even though Power Rangers, you can say that they won that fight, they did not get enough in return for what they gave away, I feel.
Yeah, they use up the Aegis on the Tiny, they use up the 10-second BKB, and even though they managed to get the Naga Siren, I think OsG Gaming did play that really well there, where they basically said, okay, we're going to throw bodies at this until the enemy team have to leave there, and I thought maybe the Tiny was going to turn around and just kill everybody off, but they kind of staggered, brought back, so that the Tiny was continuously fighting. And one of the issues that hero does have is that without his Wisp supporting him, he's pretty easy to kite for them. So yeah, they do manage to kind of win that fight. They keep their racks alive, and yeah, that's incredibly important. Naga Siren, well, she'll have her Reaver now. It's just coming back out to her on the courier, but she's back up. She's going to be farming up, and she's already got the buyback money, which is the biggest thing there, because previously in that fight, she didn't have the buyback money, and if the Tiny had BKB'd maybe when he had more health, they could have just lost that game there, but already a relocate on the top lane again.
Moon still uses the BKB charge for that, though, so in a way, it's not as big of a loss as it could be. It's just that it's kind of painful for the Disruptor, especially if they're not planning on backing off. 30 seconds on the death timer is not that bad for a Disruptor at all, but he does have 1 minute cooldown now on his ultimate, so that's gonna have to wait a little while. And of course, he gets further and further away from having his Aghanims up, which he's only like 300 gold away from, 350 or so it's not that much.
It's not that much, but he has been 350 gold away for it for 3 fights in a row.
Exactly.
He's been continuously killed in every fight because Well, he's a disruptor. He's very, very squishy. He has no other items. I mean, even with the point booster Ogre Club, Tiny just hits him like 3 times and just blows him up. I mean, part of that's Tiny and part of that's the fact that Disruptor's easy to kill, but PR are back here again to try and fight this, and I mean, OsG Gaming, they need to do something now because they've already lost the range racks.
Yeah, and Ensnare doesn't... Why ensnare him? There's the song. BKB is 10 seconds away from being up for a Moon, so it's not that big of a deal for him to get stuck in here, and he might actually be able to use it on time again. He does get stunned though.
Yeah, he's just gonna hit the racks.
Yeah, hit the racks and walk out of there. Still that poison only level 1, so it doesn't really do anything to him. No mini stun. They get the racks, they move out, they bait out the song, and well, why not go for a different lane of racks? They might not have an Aegis at this point. But
they have an AC and an 8-second BKB.
Yeah.
On a Tiny, who is incredibly huge compared to everybody else now.
And they don't have a song
actually
to fight
below
up
him in net worth. Yeah, they don't have that song. They'll have it pretty soon. They'll probably have it for the next base defense. I think PR right now, they're just going to go and get themselves a little bit extra farm in the base and such. You know, sorry, in the enemy jungle. Get themselves buyback money, stuff like that. Play it safe, but yeah, even so, this is now a very dangerous situation for OsG Gaming because they kind of gave up their racks there, and they fought so hard to keep it in the previous fight as well.
Yeah. It's a bit surprising. Also, Power Rangers playing very composed. I mean, they could have gone in again. They did not, however, so they played passively. We are going to have a very long respawn timer on the Roshan, though. So, perhaps they want to wait for that before they're going to move on to the base again and at least take out a tier 2 while they're at it. Might as well. What is that courier carrying? That is the heart ready for the Centaur. Talking about hearts, Naga has her own, so perhaps able to do a bit more herself, but in terms of split pushing, we haven't been able to see it all that much, and I mean, you already pointed out, it's not very possible with an IO and a Tiny, but those illusions could be doing a better job, I feel, and surprisingly enough, still all the tier 2s are standing on the side of Power Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of the things with Naga Siren, she's very good at throwing out the illusions and getting a lot of farm, but Radiance does no damage to towers, so that's not going to help you very much. And at this point, I mean, it's not like she has a Manta style and maybe even a Butterfly on top of that. Until you get to that point, your illusions don't do any damage to towers. So, I mean, it's difficult for OsG Gaming that they haven't got any of these towers, but I'm not surprised by it. She's going the safer build, getting this heart. But they're in a difficult situation here, because now they have one lane of racks continuously pushing in against them. They do have good heroes for killing off creep waves, though. I mean, for one, they have the Naga Siren. She can pretty much do it on her own, but they have the Timbersaw as well. You know, if the Naga Siren wants to have her illusions in other places, getting more getting more worthwhile farm, because of course those creeps aren't worth as much in the way of gold. But I mean, in the meantime, PR have complete control of the enemy jungle. I mean, look at the positioning right now, Chomi. So be a little bit careful here, but he's actually very tanky.
Yeah, he is. I think that will be the only hero to stop Power Rangers from getting into their base again. Power Rangers is having a human ward right now on the hero ward. They use the Ancient Desperation to just sit inside the Roche pit. They want to take the Roche, then go high ground again. It's understandable. It's the safest way, and want to make sure that it's their last and final push. OsG Gaming, therefore, get some extra time to farm if they wish to, which they are at least. Yeah, the illusions are. I mean, Naga Siren is still sitting at level 13 at this point, and actually, they're gonna smoke up. They do not want to give that Roche away with this song there.
I think that's smart. I think if they give the Roche away with this Tiny being so big, he's got a crit now as well.
Are they fast
They probably
enough?
lose in the next fight. I mean, it's gonna be close. Moon is gonna do. If he gets a few crits, they're not gonna get this.
In comes the song. Let's see. It's too late. It's too late. Tiny has the Aegis. Do they still want to fight this? Oh, they're gonna fight this. Scandal is into trouble. BKB turned on by Moon already. Avalanche does nice A ult up on 3 as well. Puck is the first one to die, however, and FNG in a lot of trouble as well. Big Num still getting taken down. Moon only just coming to try and take down Chomi. Chomi does not have mana for an ensnare. Does have 14 stick charges actually. Will be able to turn around and go for it, but still gets an avalanche and a toss, and Moon not really too hampered by that ensnare. They're going for Judo instead. Cheshire Cat still battling this very tanky beast, but they get the kill in the end. I mean, they did not lose the Aegis. They lost a Puck, which is not that great, and a support IO, which is, you know, nobody really cares about that one. And they got 3 in return. And OsG Gaming, they used that song. Again, it is not a level 16 Naga, so it's still level 2, and therefore Power Rangers is just going to be able to walk up the hill.
Yeah, and I think, and honestly, a really critical mistake in that fight is they didn't pick up the DD rune. I pinged it out in the middle of it because I saw it and I didn't want to interrupt, but I was like, there's a DD rune and everyone's fighting right next to it, and it's a critical fight. Moon actually caught out here. He might lose his Aegis.
He will lose his Aegis. There he goes. He will have his BKB up again once he respawns. In comes a Timbersaw as well. The swap is there. In comes a BKB looking for a target. Where's that toss? He has a toss, no Avalanche. And actually Cheshire Cat coming in to help out. Gets the stun instead of Moon though. Moon able to do what he can. Chomi, his heart is not saving him this time. Or is it? Turns around, goes back into enemies, trying to get a support. He does get that support, but that's still not worth it. He buys back. In comes the Timbersaw as well, buying back as well, looking for and then Snare, finding it as well on Cheshire Cat. But Cheshire Cat already made the tower suicide on him, so at least they got that tier 3 tower out of the way, while Moon is still running for his life. Scandal flying away as well. Chomi has got another Ensnare in 2 seconds. Not sure if he can use it though. Puck, face shifting. Moon not done just yet. Chomi, is he going to be able to find an opening there? A song. That's gonna come out. This could be very scary because this could be Moon turning it around. Depends on if he gets stunned or not. He does take quite a bit of damage though, and he will actually go down. Avalanche comes out. Not enough to save the IO though. IO will go down as well. That's gonna be at least a 5-1 by OsG Gaming. They lost their tier 3 tower, but this could be the beginning of the end for Power Rangers. Naga Siren is... Scandal, what are you doing there, buddy?
He got glimpsed back by Big Num there. Really nice glimpse by Big Num. They were able to get sight with the Naga Siren and pull her back, and I gotta say, great play by Chomi in that fight from him. He actually suicided just because he knew he needed more HP to carry on fighting. So he suicided into the middle of the enemy team, went for a crazy attack on the tiny 1v5, and then just bought back because they just needed as many bodies in the fight as possible, because otherwise, I mean, if you don't stop the tiny, he kills your base. That's pretty much the problem for them right now. So I mean, he ends up getting way more gold from it than he lost, and, you know, he's close to, you know, even picking up a Butterfly or a Manta Style or something right now to just give him as much damage as possible, but even so, they do still lose their tier 3 tower, and, I mean, team wiping PR is great, but they've still only taken one of the tier 2 towers down, and OsG Gaming, I mean, it's a huge hill to climb, especially versus a tiny, because Naga Siren, while she's a great late game carry, I mean, we saw the situation. She has to buy back into the fights to even fight him. She's a melee hero. She's got an illusion melee hero. Those typically don't do well versus craggy exterior. And she's just not doing enough damage right now to kill him off.
Yeah. And she is also teleporting in basically for nothing. She used to Boots of Travel to try and help out the Vengeful Spirit, but he was already dead before he came, so... Bit of a waste of Boots of Travel. She will go back to base for mana. Nice relocate though. For Power Rangers, I think it's eminent to indeed get a pick off before moving on to the base again, because they are, like, even though they are still ahead, I mean, I haven't even looked at the gold graph. Oh, that's right, I changed the hotkeys for it. So, sorry, I had different...
They're a little bit ahead.
They are,
look at the XP.
25k experience ahead, but I hadn't looked at the graphs yet. But the thing is, Naga Siren doesn't care about graphs. Doesn't care about all that stuff. She can still win this game easily, especially if Power Rangers keep running in as like headless chickens onto the base and just get slaughtered when they get there. They have to play this strategically and not get baited out into overextending by anything.
Yeah, and I mean, Moon, he has buyback, which is nice for him, because he needs it at this point, but he's got a full Daedalus as well. He's just getting more and more difficult to fight against, and Chomi, he's songed here. He is level 16, so this is not a waste anymore for him. Oh,
everybody walks out of the kinetic field, though. Big Nom already dead before anything else. Scandal still got pick up as well, which is nice for him. Io back in this, relocating in, looking for some kills. Nice swap, keeping Chomi safe, but Moon, he doesn't care about swaps. He'll just run after you anyway. Vengeful Spirit gave his life for Chomi, but Chomi, is he gonna spend it well? Looks like he is not. That is a triple kill for Cheshire Cat, as it's Judo and Dazzle still alive
here. Buyback is on cooldown. I think this is the end.
This is at least second Rex, and perhaps indeed more than that, as Moon is getting healed up by F&G again as well. And I mean, the second heart is, by the way, being bought by Cheshire Cat. He's almost got that complete, so if he wasn't unkillable before, he's going to be unkillable.
I mean, the tower's going to kill itself on him.
Yep, that's how that works. Avalanche, Judo. They're not going to go on him. It's just baiting it out. He might be able to get FNG, though, and it looks like indeed he will. But at the same time, Cheshire Cat and Moon
doesn't care.
I mean, they turn on
They're
their...
going to get mega creeps from this, just because Moon... I mean, he hits so hard versus buildings at this point.
Yeah, no mega creeps just yet. Just the melee, the ranged Rex to go. Moon is doing quite a ton of damage though, but he will get picked off. Still 5 heroes dead, but nonetheless, this is the only surviving Rax. Now, Naga Siren can fight against bigger creeps. A mega creep's not so easy, but bigger creeps, sure. Biggest downside of it though is that they give half gold, which is gonna hurt her a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, Pink is saying it, FNG is saying it. He's calling this GG here, because the thing is whilst OsG Gaming, they can definitely defend against these creeps. It's incredibly hard to push against them. It's even harder for you to... Because if they're going to push, they have to base race, right? How do you base race Tiny Wisp? What are they going to do? Tiny's just going to BKB, he's going to hit your base and you're going to lose. So it's an incredibly difficult situation, but like you said, you can never write Naga Siren off, because the big thing about Naga Siren is that she's not just a great late game carry, is that Song is a great tactical advantage as well, because you can completely change situations from doing it. If you get caught out, you can Song in Boots of Travel, you can use your Song to set up team fights, you can do it for so much. And, I mean, if she gets the right opportunity, PR can still get caught out of position, they can still get caught in a difficult place, but, I mean, they have to fight Tiny Wisp late game with almost no racks. They have one ranged racks left, which has permanent damage done to it as well, by the way, so... If they want, PR can just relocate here, hit it a few times, and even if they don't kill it, they'll just get out and the creeps will possibly do the job. So, I mean, this is the easiest situation for PR. They just have to make no mistakes. You know, they just have to not make a really terrible mistake. And they even buy... Didn't they just buy a Basher on the Tiny? I saw him get the Helm of the Dominator. I think he sold the Basher afterwards.
I think so too, because he's not having it anymore. They do have the second heart now on the center. They will fight up against the Naga with the butterfly, so that will definitely help a lot, because Moon doesn't hit that fast, but he hits hard most of all. So if he misses one, that is actually a pretty big deal. But at this point, Moon doesn't have to hit Chomi. He has to hit that range Rex. And the towers, yeah, he should hit the buildings. That's all that he cares about. Or buildings should hit Cheshire Cat, because then Cheshire Cat will actually live, and the building will die. The tower will die.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for OsG Gaming, Range Barracks can't actually physically attack Cheshire Cat, but the creeps aren't going to do anything versus him. And look at the positioning by PR here. They know that any situation in which this Rax gets hit is a win-win for them. So they don't even need to send the Tiny there. They send the Tiny through a different way, and he doesn't even care. He's just going to fight. Yeah.
He's in some trouble, though, and he might get relocated out. Yep. Just a little bit out. That's okay for him. The BKB gets blown on Inquisitor. A lot of spells getting blown, actually. Relocate, not the only one. Naga Siren getting actually killed off by the Ancient Apparition at the back. Moon turning on his BKB, going for Judo. Judo's still alive for the moment, but not for long. That's another kill going away of Power Rangers. Buyback is there for the Timber Saw, but the Rex are down. The GG is called. Show me dead means everything. And the disconnect comes out as well. And how did that Naga die exactly? I mean, there was Ancient Apparition ulti that ticked him over, but how did he get so low?
I mean, he tried to fight against the Tiny, and fighting a Tiny is incredibly hard. You continuously stun yourself, and if you get crit at any point by the Tiny at this point, you lose half your health.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is
we saw
true.
the Timber Saw then. He jumped in and he was like, I've got a third of my health, guys, and he gets hit once and dies. But yeah, and the big thing is that nobody could stop the Centaur as well, because he had 2 hearts, he had, you know, he had a BKB, I believe. No, he had 2 hearts, a mech. He just dived into the tower and stomped him, and yeah, the Naga Siren goes down there, so nice play from the side of PR there. I think that was really, though, just a great draft from them, and the way they played that game was very interesting, because they weren't entirely reliant on just their early game or just their late game. It was all very strong for them. It was an overall very strong draft.
Definitely agree. Yeah, I look forward to see OsG Gaming more. I mean, they have shown good results in the past. They have some issues to work out, but then again, Power Rangers will be Power Rangers, and they did show us that they are indeed a strong team. I thought that they would have an easier time up against OsG Gaming, though.
I mean, nobody has an easy time versus Naga Siren.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Once she's got her Radiance, it's always an uphill struggle to actually get through there, because Radiance hurts a lot early game, and illusions with Radiance are just annoying to deal with.
True. Well, that was our one and only match today for the Excellent Moscow Cup. There are some matches possibly tomorrow now. All of the matches that are scheduled slash unscheduled.
Slash not scheduled.
Yeah, there that are like it's a preliminary schedule, so teams can still say, "Oh, sorry, we can't." But for now, we have got 2 games starting at 1800 PS or CST. Wow, CEST. See, I'm tired. The retry versus next KZ would be our first one, and next KZ versus Virtus Pro would be our second one. So those will be the games tomorrow. But that is it. Thank you for joining me. Any shoutouts and plugins before we head off?
I mean, no, nothing for the moment. Just the usual. Twitch.tv/setmygyms is my Twitch account that you can go. And if you want to follow me on YouTube, Twitter, etc., all that, basically my Twitch is a portal for all that. So if you go on there, there's links for everything. But otherwise, no, thank you for having me on. And I suggest you go get some sleep or something, or
that's a
play
stupid
Treant
thing.
Protector, like a really easy hero.
Yeah, because I've slept normally the last night. I don't know.
You're just tired because it's traveling. Yeah, I
Right,
know what you
probably.
mean. Traveling is not.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Like, ugh.
Yeah, no, that feeling I agree with. So yeah, perhaps I'll play some. I'll first play some commercials though, because that is your way to support me. If you want to watch commercials, then please do so. Follow us on Twitter, on @ShiverGaming for myself, and @JustWilkinson for my co-caster. And yeah, stick around for watching commercials if you want to, and otherwise have a great night watching something else, as I do believe that there are some nice matches scheduled. But I would look at my website, but I have not had a chance to get it up to date, so I don't know actually. I know that there are some D2L Western Challenge matches, as well as the ESL 1 qualifiers stuff. So go watch something. That's basically it. Good night.